Tuesday was the games we just discussed. The next 2 days later on Thursday, we'll have two games. We'll have the East finally against some shines you pointed out. The Sixers and Bucks going head to head, and then we'll also get the Suns and Lakers, which is the first matchup of LeBron and KD for the first time in what is it going to be 5 years? I believe it
Yeah, I
is.
think it was 2018 the last time. Yep.
Definitely glad to have them finally go head to head. First thoughts on those two matching up finally after so long.
Yeah, KD's been ducking the fade for a few years with that LeBron KD matchup. I'm sure there was maybe once or twice where LeBron was hurt as well too, but
right, both
they both have
things.
Yeah, they both have dealt with their injuries for sure. But there was a time, I guess probably around 2018 where they were 1-2 in the league consensus, best
Correct.
players in the league. So it's unfortunate that we haven't been able to see them match up since then, but exciting that we should get it this time around. It's first week of the season, so there shouldn't be any excuse for either of them to be out unless for some reason there's a freak injury, which fingers crossed, hopefully that does not happen for either. So it should be good to see these guys who are a couple of the remaining of those 2000s, 2010s elite guys that kind of have marked like our generation of fandom of NBA basketball. Be fun to see them match up in their older age while they're still playing elite level, MVP level basketball in their own.
Absolutely, but not only did they mark an era, and that still are marking an era, they marked a big shift in how the NBA carried itself. They were the leaders of the player empowerment movement. We talked a little bit about that last episode. Talking about winning time, actually, we talked a little bit about James Harden, how that tied with Norm Nixon, talking to the media, all that kind of stuff. But guys who really took control of their own narratives, and as well as took control of how they were displayed on the court. We see KD in that Warriors jersey, which was so highly criticized and talked about. Those moments like that, even LeBron here in the Lakers being able to control his destiny, end up here in LA, were prime examples of how they took control of their careers and led that player empowerment movement. But we've seen since then with how other players have followed in their footsteps that things potentially could have gone too far. So I asked, did have LeBron and KD's player empowerment push actually hurt the league and what they did?
Yeah, I mean it's a very good question. I think it made sense, like what LeBron did. People were very mad about it, the way he did it, as far as the decision and the theatrics surrounding it. But it made sense. What did he spend, like 9 years like with the Cavs? Before
the first 9, then he had 4 in Miami, then back to Cleveland, then to LA.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they made a finals when he was really young and got beat pretty handedly by the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like the Cavs struggled to put the pieces around him to really build a championship team, and he kept running into a wall in Celtics. And so it made sense for LeBron to choose to further his career and kind of take control of his destiny in that way when he did. I don't know that it could have been anticipated, like how other star players would follow suit. And I think KD was the biggest example of that, maybe tipping the scales a little bit too much. So like in a sense, you could, a lot of people blame KD for the player movement now.
Sure.
But you could blame LeBron. I feel like LeBron, the move he made, like made a little bit more sense as far as still having competition like in the league. Like the KD move felt like a Joker kind of, where it's like KD goes to the 73-9 Warriors that are already building a dynasty, and they got the trump card.
Right.
But so yeah, in a sense, you can blame LeBron for hurting the league with the player empowerment push, but really I feel like KD is kind of the one that put it that much more over the edge. Yeah.
Before I respond to you, what does hurt mean?
I think that's a good question too, because hurt, I don't think it necessarily hurt like the brand of the league. Like the brand is still like very strong. People are still very intrigued like by NBA games. People are still tuning in for NBA games. I think it hurt the competition, and it hurt, I guess maybe where values lie for some guys. Like, there's various factors that go into it, like the rings culture that media and some fans have kind of peddled, that made players like KD want to prioritize winning over all else, whether even if that meant joining the team that beat you. Like the goal was winning the ring. So I think, yeah, I'd say it hurt a little bit of the competition, and then it hurt as far as where guys like priorities lied. It was like we want to just join with our friends and build the best big three possible that we can. Whereas we've seen in recent years, like it's been the 2-star formula with having solid role players around you that has been a little bit more successful. So
to that point, I give some pushback in that I believe that more so like the AAU culture and how guys are developed and players are developed from the ground up kind of plays more of its part to today, and how players are more buddy. They talked about in the past how guys grew up on separate teams and grew up in separate cities and came up and finally came together, and it was clashes. Now guys, even in separate cities, are transferring across the country and joining to go to these powerhouse schools and going to join AAU squads. Everybody, notably, there's squads. Obviously, no, let me not do that and get my card pulled. But there's noble AAU squads where guys will team up and join together, and all of a sudden they're guys that just carry out that unity together throughout all the way up to the league and beyond. So I don't think it's really on LeBron and them for I guess piggybacking on what was already being set in motion. It's just because they are the biggest faces that it seemed like it was such a major move by them. But beyond that, and what you were saying about the empowerment, I actually don't think it's a bad thing that they did. I think we did need to pull some more of the power out of the owners and the management hands, and realizing that the players are the ones that are bringing in the revenue. The players are the ones that they're not as replaceable as I guess the media and others may make it seem. That these guys truly are stars and deserve to be treated as such, and they want to maneuver in a way that their star power allows them to. They should really do so. Yes, we have had our jokes and things about some of the moves that they made. LeBron coming to LA, we highly criticized for a plethora of reasons. But as a guy who is that guy who we talk about as the top 2 player of all time, number 1 for the song, I ain't trying to start no debate with that. But as a guy who's up there, is that he should be able to say, I'm a guy that sees LA as the mega city. I'm the mega star. We should be able to join and make that tandem work. So things like that, I don't believe were fully negative beyond the jokes and things that we made there. So no, I don't think that KD, that LeBron or KD hurt player empowerment. I do think, as we joked before, that there are some players who think they're on the same level as KD and LeBron. That maybe is another story. But I do think those that earn the right to move around as they desire should be able to do so at least somewhat. The contract should be honored a little bit, of course, and we see guys always signed and then demand to trade a year later and things like that, and that's where things kind of get a little bit tricky. But when you see moments where KD as a free agent joins the Warriors, or LeBron's a free agent joins the Lakers, those moves further on the court, yes, are trump cards and surely criticized, but they should be allowed to make that move. So I'm all for how they maneuver.
That was going to be my kind of addendum to my point, which was that they were well within both of their rights, to choose wherever they wanted to go as free agents. I think more of the issue now. So I guess my answer would kind of be no, actually, as far as it hurting the league as a whole. But I think it hurt in the sense that other players, like you mentioned, feel that they're maybe on a similar level and are within their right to demand out after signing these long-term contracts for deals with a team, like a James Harden, who has pushed for a trade in the last 3 or 4 seasons now. I think it's hurt more so in that sense of player empowerment, of the line kind of being blurred between player empowerment and like honoring your contract and like being a professional and that kind of thing has been blurred for some stars who maybe don't even have like the gravitas or have earned like their keep in the league to that point yet.
Sure.
So yeah.
Sure. So yeah, we'll see what the next steps come in that. We did in this discuss mainly on the court, off the court, as well as players, seeing what LeBron has built up with Clutch Sports and Rich Paul there, seeing what KD's doing on the media side as well with the boardroom, with the Etc.'s podcast. There are many other players who are doing the same thing, and them being able to control their narratives in some way definitely is a beautiful thing. Yes, the media will still play its part. Some guys will still try to paint what they want to paint, but KD being able to get in front of the mic and say what he wants to say as well is a great thing that I'm glad that more players are actually doing. So yeah, it's I appreciate the lanes that they're opening up for their peers there. So yeah, definitely good stuff there to keep looking at in regards to KD and LeBron.